all fine.
It's all fine. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Whatever Projector. That's staying in, by the way.
Oh, okay. With the magic of editing, it's gone.
No, it isn't. It's staying in. Welcome to the Whatever Projector, the podcast where we talk about films and TV shows and anime and whatever we want to talk about this week. What?
I like that you keep stuff in because it means I know not to fuck things up like I just did now.
Yeah, that's staying in too.
Nice.
I'm your host, James.
I'm a co-host, Sam.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. We've got loads of things that have been coming up over the last couple of weeks. But the last few episodes, we've been kind of struggling to pull stuff together. But this week we got the Samurai Jacks, we got the Ghost in the Jars, we got the Rickle Mortis, and all the other great things.
Oh, I love Rick and Mortis.
Yeah. It's a fun-filled show.
Ooh.
But people who know this podcast know that we don't start this off with fun. We start this off with recommended readings.
Yeah, we catch up with stuff that we probably should have watched, read, or played years ago.
Yeah, we tell you what you should be watching and reading, and you're a bad person for not doing it. So my recommended reading is pretty much all the things that we were going to talk about in news anyway. So Sam, do you have any recommended reading you'd like to throw at people first?
I got two pieces. One of them I can just get through very quickly. I rewatched The Room recently. Tommy Wiseau's masterpiece.
How'd that go?
I enjoyed it way more than the first time I watched it. I watched it years ago, and it's been long enough to where I remember bits and pieces of it, but watching it again, it felt like it was a fresh watch.
Because I want to rewatch that because finally James Franco's movie about the making of The Room is finally coming out.
Yeah,
and that's been talked about for like 2 years, and it's something that it's called the Disaster Artist. If you want to look it up, it's based on a book by the guy who played played by Ohio Mark, yeah, and just his story of how he met Tommy Wiseau, doing Shakespearean acting. I'm not joking. That's literally how they met.
I've seen a clip of Tommy Wiseau doing To Be or Not to Be.
Yeah, it's special.
That is the question.
Yeah, but anyway, James Franco and his brother Dave making a movie about that movie, and that's fascinating to me. So I probably should rewatch The Room just to remind myself of all the special moments, because we all remember oh hi Mark and hello doggy and I fed up with this world.
Apparently the oh hi doggy, that bit was that was the last take, and apparently Tommy only just noticed the dog during that take.
Wait, was that not in the script?
No, that was Tommy.
Oh,
that wasn't Johnny.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was Tommy reacting naturally, but he kept in character and
ran
out there as quickly as he could.
What does in character count for in that movie?
I don't know. Now again, this is going to be very quick. I'm not really going to run through it. I'm just going to say go watch it. I'm just going to talk about a few bits and pieces before I get onto something a bit more substantial in comparison. But there is a bit where he's talking to a psychologist and Mark is there, and there's a bit where he's talking about how you got to San Francisco, I think is where it's at, and he breaks character.
Yeah,
I feel like he just starts talking really naturally, like he hasn't got a script, and so a lot of it is probably in Tommy's character rather than Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, considering he was the writer, producer, director at Main Star and
production company,
and he was. I would believe that he's holding the camera for half of it. It's not filmed well, but
there's like one good shot in it where it's the one when they're on the roof just after. I did not. It's after that one, and it's actually quite.
You mean up on the green screen?
Yes, when they're up on that tiny soundstage. Yeah. That's, I don't know, like the size of a toilet.
Yeah.
It's where he's. Mark is obviously he's having an affair with Lisa. Yeah, and he's sort of picking Johnny's brain, like trying to like gauge his reaction on
to gauge his human reactions. It's very not alien reactions.
Yes, he's trying to gauge his sociopathic, emotionless spider reactions.
Yeah.
to him finding out that he's having an affair with his to-be wife, and it's actually quite clever because. I say clever. It's as competent as that man. Like, he put thought into this. He wasn't as incompetent as we might think he is.
But
as he's talking about it, every time Johnny sort of like questions, either asks him a question or like shows some sign of like says something that says like, oh, we're friends, and like, oh, I trust you. Oh, it seems to me like you're the expert, Mark. Every time he says something like that, he always backs away, but Johnny like tries to get closer every time. So Johnny gets closer when he's like being positive or like asking questions, and then Mark always backs off. But well, no, like he just sort of after he backs off, he gets closer again to like respond, and then because he's starting to get curious why he's picking at his brain, he asks him like, is there something on your mind? Like, what makes you bring this up? And it's like the one time that he walks to him before he asks anything, and it's like very
well done.
Well done, Tommy.
Yeah, well done. You did a thing that implies you at least did a semester at a film school, like one. Like
he was awake for one class.
Yeah, which sounds fairly accurate to his story from what I gather. There are so many rumors and weird stories about him, just how he funded that. Like
he's a fascinating man.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really looking forward to the disaster.
Yeah, there's so many other like great scenes besides just the classic ones.
Yeah, I think a lot of that movie just gets steamrolled by
oh hi Mark.
Just
you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah. Let's play some football, all those things. Like, but it's a meme all round. What was the other thing you were going to talk about?
I rewatched the original Dawn of the Dead.
How is that? Yeah, because it's been a long time since I've seen that. I generally prefer the remake. All things considered.
Yes. I would say it just about holds up. Like, not just about. I'd say it does hold up, but it has aged.
Oh yeah, I mean, I understand that it's the classic zombie movie, and it was the one that kicked everything off. Night of the Living Dead obviously came out before it, but wasn't the hit that Dawn of the Dead was, and that's kind of responsible for every zombie thing ever. But
I think Zack Snyder's Dawn is just more professionally made because of it's got a high budget. Like Dawn of the Dead, it was pretty much riding the line on being an indie film. I think they did it during that because they did it during filming commercials. Like the production crew just like did that on the side. They'd film a bunch of.
I mean, they had Rick Baker on their side, so it's of course like all the practical effects are really. At least at the time, well done. And
it was Tom Savini did.
Well, not Tom Baker. Tom Savini. Yeah.
Yes. I think it holds up quite well, mainly because of the characters and like the overall just sort of progression of the story. That I'll get like the stuff that doesn't hold up out the way out of the way. Jeez, I can't English. I'd say that there's this weird balance where the zombies can feel ominous, like they're this threat that's always looming right over their head. Like, and then there's just times where it's like, this isn't scary, because you probably remember the scene where he's got the hammer and he swings his body into him. He doesn't swing the hammer. Like, go and watch the film. You can probably find it on YouTube. But he sort of throws his whole body at the zombie instead of just cracking it on the head.
Yeah, there's a lot of also very slow scenes in terms of the zombies moving about, and just you get the sense that they aren't as much of a like even the slow moving zombies in the future zombie movies from there is like you still get a sense that they're a threat, at least in numbers, whereas Dawn of the Dead, there are some scenes where it's like you could shuffle away from them a little bit.
Yeah, that's another part where it doesn't really hold up as well. There's scenes where they're running through the mall and it feels too easy. It feels far too easy. Like you think like how did we lose this fight? Not like there are slower scenes where it is supposed to set up the ominous sort of nature. Like there's one bit where they're refueling their helicopter and there's just like this one zombie walking towards them, but he can't hear because the helicopter blades are still going. This is kind of tense.
Yeah, see that's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I can respect it a little bit even though it's slow. There's tension there, but like a lot of it when there's just hundreds of zombies walking towards them and literally you just you just have to literally walk at a normal human pace to like get away from them. The music kind of helps with that.
I think the music's actually fantastic.
Yeah, the music was one of the things that saves it a lot.
Yeah.
But that's where like there's been a few YouTube videos where people have taken that music away, and you realize, holy shit, you could literally like there's no speed to these guys at all. Like there's slow moving zombies, and then there's literally this is like trying to escape from a horde of grandmas. Like
it's trying to escape from a horde of dead snails.
Yeah, it's trying to escape from a horde of Trump cabinet pigs.
Yep, you got it, nail on the head.
Yeah. Politics now kill us all.
Slowly, surely.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna remake it again eventually? Because the last one came out 12 years ago. Was it like 10, 12 years ago now?
I think so. I think it was 2004.
Yeah. So about 12, 13 years ago. So yeah,
who knows?
We're about due for a remake, right? Because that's how Hollywood works now, right? Like 10 year cycles of just like anything.
I feel like they're waiting for George A. Romero to croak.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no. Now that's yeah. Just so they can get their hands on all that sweet property. I really hope that he just he has the control over that trademark, and he
might, because it was all very independent. I think.
Well, he also drove that series into the ground himself. So it's like I built this house, I can burn it down myself. You can't get it.
He was just trying to have a fun time.
Yeah,
he just likes filmmaking. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, perfectly fine thing, but I think we got. I mean, considering the first one was a landmark thing. And then the Zack Snyder thing, I think it's less important movie-wise, because obviously it didn't really change much zombies in terms of zombies. But it was just a good movie. Like I think that's all we really needed out of that concept.
And when it comes to the satire of consumerism, obviously it gets away with it because it was a brand new thing at the time.
It was a little blunt, but in the 60s.
He agreed that what he was doing was blunt.
Yeah, but like that was like consumer culture was still like that had only existed in mass for like 10, 20 years, if that. So
it was more like looking at mall.
And the mall like as a thing was only about 10 years old. So that was like hot off the press as a hot take.
He was he agreed that it was fairly blunt, but because I think at the time they were only a few years old. Like there was still this thing that wasn't really super common yet, and it was this hot thing.
I think that's one of the things that's lost from it is because of it being displaced in time now. Obviously we're just super used to that stuff, and it's like the malls and everything that's totally normal, but back then obviously would have been super topical. It's like making a movie now about like the NSA. Like imagine in 30 years when we're all hooked up to the net or whatever, to our brain, that'll all seem very quaint.
Yes. For its time, it was very topical, and it gets away with it. Dead Rising 4, you don't get away with it. You don't get to do the who's the real monsters, consumerism, Black Friday.
Oh yeah. I mean, like that was. I feel partly the remake was partly responsible for the wave of zombies stuff that came out after around like the mid to late 2000s that caused Dead Rising, and so like it's kind of at least it comes in waves.
At least it does. But at least the remake knew the whole consumerism, we're much like zombies thing doesn't work. Let's drop that and just go in a different direction.
Yeah. They had other things to keep it spicy.
Don't do that anymore, guys. No more consumerism. At least the first Dead Rising went in a very different direction.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, they took on the slow moving zombies and just made it fun. So
it was more about how like nature hits back when you fuck with it too much.
They're not scary, there's no tension, and you have no rights. We just keep them around because they're fun.
Look at them go.
Woohoo, yeah!
But that was Dawn of the Dead. It's fairly recommendable still.
Very good.
I liked it.
Yeah, so let's move on to the news, the things what's been happening. Yeah. So this actually just came out in the last day or so. Thor Ragnarok trailer.
Yeah, new Thor Fraggle Rock trailer. I'm down.
This looks fucking good, right?
It looks more memorable than like both of the films put together.
Yeah, what happened in the last two? Who cares? No one remembers. There was a thing with a face that shot stuff.
It was like a toaster face.
Yeah, toaster, all the famous villains. Toaster face, burnt face elf, and Loki, who's just they just keep him around because he's fun.
All I remember from the first one is the only memorable scene. Another. Another toaster face shoots lasers and Hawkeye gears up for an action scene and they say false alarm. They say false alarm. You don't need to do an action scene, and then he comes back down from his Hawk's eyes thing.
Oh god, that was when that was when Marvel was being a bit cringy with the Avengers. Oh yeah, just he's got a bow and arrow. You know who this guy is? We're not gonna use him. We're gonna save him for another movie.
And then he was in the movie. He was like, he was pretty good.
Yeah. He was he had nothing to do with that movie. He wasn't a character. He was just oh look, I've got a bow and arrow. I'm that guy. Hey ladies, I'm off.
Ladies, I'm very free.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah. You think about it in this pink shirt and has got loads of ladies. He does. No, but the second Thor movie, no one remembers that one at all. Rightfully so, because it looks like muddy concrete and there's no fun allowed. And Natalie Portman very much looks like she wants to go home.
I just remember Roy from the It Crowd is in there, and there's some red things, Affinity Stone.
Oh yeah.
That was just something for a checklist.
And Christopher Eccleston is there.
Yes, everyone forgets Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, because I think Christopher Eccleston forgot he was there. He doesn't seem to care all that much.
Do you think he's confused when people bring that up on his resume?
It's was I? Are you sure?
I mean, looking it up on my IMDb, is this some incredibly elaborate hoax? At my expense.
I mean, he was just saying gibberish through the whole movie. He never said a word of English, so yeah.
Why would he remember it then?
No, exactly. Just put on a burnt face makeup and then just strolled around a blue screen for a bit and then got punched into a wormhole or something.
I really don't remember that happening.
You don't remember him being punched into a wormhole?
I'll take your word for it.
That's what happened. He folds himself 6 times and then he gets crunched into a wormhole.
Wow, you would have thought I'd remember a man folding himself 6 times.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that gets you the best season opening of a famous cartoon show, but
that we may or may not talk about later.
Maybe, but no. In terms of Thor, it's just not memorable because it was bad. But this is what, in terms of the actual trailer, I mean. One of the things the Thor movies have kind of suffered from is that they've had a different director each time, and this is another new director, but he seems to be someone who's actually having fun. Yeah,
it looks like it's taking a little bit of Guardians, which I'm okay with.
I'd say a lot of Guardians. It's taking a whole lot of it. It's going to be mostly set in space. Yeah, apparently it's going to start out on Earth where Thor's looking for Odin, I guess. He's going to be there for 10 minutes, hang out with Benedict Cumberbatch for a little bit.
Get shit pushed in.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and then Hela shows up and punches his hammer into oblivion.
Yeah, that's his shit getting pushed in.
Yeah.
And then he ends up in space.
Yeah. Then it's he gets spaced.
I like the idea of magic banishing him to space.
Yeah.
You're not welcome in this genre anymore. Go to science fiction, you prick.
You weren't good enough at fantasy. We don't want you anymore.
Go to science fiction, you bellend.
Yeah, and then he gets it's your hair's dumb too. Shave off all of his long luscious locks, and now he's got just normal Chris Hemsworth hair. And has to as Chris Hemsworth is one to do on an average Thursday night. It's just
punching big angry men.
Yeah, punching big angry green men who he knows from work.
Yeah,
that seems about what Chris Hemsworth's up to.
I will say I'm a big fan of the fact that this film has 100% more Jeff Goldblum in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big flaw of the first 2 films.
Yeah.
Roughly 0.
Big flaw of the Marvel universe and films in general is its lack of Jeff Goldblum.
Boo films.
Yeah, but he's calmly judging the competition and announcing. Thank you.
Thank fuck.
Yeah, that's who wants anyone else announcing anything when you've got Jeff Goldblum to hand. I mean, the man finds a way, as life does.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, so there'll be so many good memes to go with that film when that comes out. And he's got his little blue goatee lip thing that he's got going on. Yeah,
I kind of hope he keeps that post film.
Yeah. I think it's a good life decision.
It's
for him.
a good look.
It works for him. A lot of people are debating like what the plot's going to be after, because it's probably going to have one of the last Infinity Stone in it, because Guardians 2 isn't going to have it. It's going to be the Soul Gem. So some people are saying that it's Heimdall's eyes are the Soul Gem.
Yeah.
Because he can see it. He can see souls. Yeah.
I could see it.
Though the idea of his... And also because he said that he in Avengers Age of Ultron, when Thor has his little vision of the future, Heimdall's blind. So, you can... maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
it could come together.
It makes sense. Yeah, so that's I can see it. Yeah,
that antler woman might.
Yeah. Hella's wild hair ride. Yeah, that's
It's a bold look, and I commend her for it.
Considering the amount of things that happen in comics that do not translate to film whatsoever, that was one of those things that I thought they're not even gonna fucking try, or they're gonna make it tiny. But man, are those some wild spikes coming out of that?
Yeah, I was digging that look. Yeah. I remember her better than they're like white burnt elves or something in the second film.
Yeah, the
only reason I remember the Guardian things from the first film is because I just remember they look like toasters with metal bodies.
Yeah, toaster face. Yeah, that's all that matters. But it looks like they Hela's like they've got the full look for her. Loki's got his dumb antler hat again. That's I approve. Thor's got kind of a reduced version of his wing helmet. It's not as wild as the first one.
I like it.
I like it too. Yeah, it's a good interpretation of it. I think it looks because they had it for like 2 seconds in the first movie, the full wing version, and then he takes it off and never wears it again. I kind of wanted them to do something along that lines, and it looks good with those little wing things that he slides down. Like I don't know why they need to do that. It's not like it changes.
It sort of protects a little tiny bit more of the sides of his chin.
I guess so.
That's it.
It's an important chin. We all care about it. It's the Hemsworth chin. It's
so chiseled.
It's his greatest asset. He can't lose it. But yeah, then he goes into a punch up for a bit, and then he's mates with the Hulk. Apparently, this must all happened very early on, because the rest of the movie is him and the Hulk going on a cosmic road trip.
Cool.
Yeah.
So does he get on like Hulk's back and Hulk jumps from planet to planet?
Oh, I hope so.
Could you imagine Hulk swinging the hammer by the strap?
Oh, that's so
for
good.
Stuffing. Ooh.
Yeah. That's one thing I'm gonna really miss, because if they don't reform Mjolnir, Thor won't get to do his little spinny thing jump.
Marvel, you've been leaving us in the dark.
It's always funny.
Yes.
It's always funny every time. When
they knew.
It's like, I don't care, like, anytime he does it, it's like, he doesn't actually fly. He just...
He uses subtropical force and he just holds on.
Yeah, exactly. It's really unique and super funny, and it just won't be the same without it. Like, apparently he might
try that, DC.
Yeah, he might.
I'll put a little guitar in my trailer, but you won't try flying from subtropical force hammer.
I want Wonder Woman to literally like grab a guy and like literally like swing him by the leg and use the force of that.
Dude, if she does that, his limbs are just gonna tear off.
Yeah.
No, that'll be what DC wants.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's the vibe they're going for. She'll say, "I saw this in a movie once. It'll work." And then DC, please don't actually do that. I'm quite worried about Wonder Woman, if I'm being honest.
Hollywood, don't listen to us now.
Yeah, don't listen to that at all. But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to see from that trailer? I mean, like, or anything else that you spotted from it? I mean, we got the Jeff Goldblums. We got shit getting pushed in.
Yeah.
And it opens perfectly with, "You're probably wondering how I ended up here."
Record scratch.
Yeah. Oh, please say it. I want it to be exactly like the opening to Megamind.
We can hope.
Yeah, and I also want his roommate. They had a little comedy sketch where what was Thor doing in Civil War, and he had an Australian roommate who was just an average bloke, and Daryl, he needs to be in this,
Struthing and crikeying all over the place.
Yeah, and just being in a really, really crucial part of the whole story.
Yeah, of the mythos.
Yeah, maybe he sacrifices himself to become the new Mjolnir. And he becomes a talking hammer.
A flesh hammer, if you will.
Yeah. Maybe he can be the guy that Thor literally throws around. And
he's the only guy who can, withstand it.
Yeah, because he's been putting up with Thor's shit for, a year.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I don't really see anything else. They're on a junk planet with lots of aliens and stuff.
Yeah. So apparently that's Sakaar, which is from Planet Hulk. But I don't really get how that works, because the Sakarsons were the foot soldiers from Guardians of the Galaxy, and so I don't know if that's going to be connected, or if it's just going to be one of those side details that no one really paid attention to. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, the idea is with that junk planet, there's a shitload of wormholes all over the planet that just eject junk through them. Possibly caused by all the bullshit that happened in Thor 2.
Yeah.
So I can that's where there's that one guy who has 2 machine guns from Earth. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that would make sense. That's Carl Urban, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh,
Carl Urban's in this one.
Nice.
I really wish he was doing another Dredd movie, but yeah, sure. If he's going to be in, if everyone cool is going to be in the Marvel universe, why not? Yeah, bring Carl Urban into it.
Because Dredd 2 will never happen.
Yeah. Sadly enough.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Until they reboot it in 10 years and it does bad again.
Yeah, probably. Get Sylvester Stallone back on it.
He's down, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, he's said that he's not doing another Expendables movie. Shock. Oh no. So.
Oh fuck! I'm punching microphones.
What did you do? What did you do?
I said no Dredd 2.
Yeah. You're causing bad omens. Yeah.
Through the magic of editing, we won't get rid of this.
Yeah, so
I accidentally kicked a floor keyboard. It begs the question: why would you put a keyboard on the floor?
Shut up! We're a very we have a very professional setup. It's
Rick and Morty, Rick China Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, just in more trailer news, I do want to get this out of the way first. There is a Last Jedi trailer coming at the end of this week.
I have heard.
And because we're recording this on a Tuesday, we're probably not going to get to it. We might have an emergency session of the podcast to cover it, or otherwise we'll adjourn until next week to cover it. I will just say I want to get a few predictions out of the way. Everyone's going to say The Force Awakens was shit, but still get super hyped for this. And anything that looks remotely like the original trilogy in it, everyone's going to say it's nostalgia, there's nothing new in it, it's all terrible. And anything new in it, everyone's going to say it doesn't look like Star Wars and that they don't know what they're doing.
Nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Absolutely, and Red Letter Media will put out an extremely snarky video.
They'll put out a nice long video to appease the YouTube algorithm gods.
Yeah.
Just to say how much they hate it.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't know, something's going to be in there there'll be a billion other videos just pointing out literally every single frame, every single pixel of whatever it is that they show.
Red circle, big arrows. Look what you might have missed in the new trailer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I've not sunken in with the rest of this apparent thing that we're meant to be all doing, where we hate Force Awakens and say that Rogue One was somehow shit. I don't personally get it. I think the worst you can say about those movies is that they're well constructed, but maybe rely a bit too much on nostalgia.
Apparently, that's enough to say it's a trash film.
Yeah. I think people just
inexcusably bad.
I mean, I saw this coming, the whole backlash thing, but I really don't want it to continue. And I'd hopefully Last Jedi doesn't suffer from it too much.
I stay away from Red Letter Media now, and a lot of Star Wars critics in general. Not because I want to live in an echo chamber, but you have to admit there are a lot of people who say, "Oh, this guy has a gun. He's just like Han Solo. Fuck this movie."
Yeah,
there's a lot of that.
They're kind of just sick of it, and
they're kind of sick of loving Star Wars.
Yeah, well,
very old men.
I don't think they know what they want anymore, because the prequels was obviously not Star Wars enough, and then Force Awakens even I'll admit was a bit too much like original Star Wars, so I don't think they know, because there were so many people with the prequels, it was very easy for them to say, oh, this is what they should have done, and I think that gave a lot of people a big old boner for just the fact that they thought they knew better than George Lucas.
Because everybody likes their own ideas.
Yeah, exactly, right, and especially when it's just a vague concept, it's like, that's pretty cool, like, it's so easy to come up with those.
Yeah.
Like, when you don't actually have to work out the mechanics of pacing and timing and managing billions of dollars worth of budget and marketing. Like, it's the when you don't have any of that shit to worry about, it's super easy to come up with ideas. Whereas with The Force Awakens, I feel it was just on that line where people couldn't come up with loads of ideas that would exactly make it so much better, but also couldn't enjoy it fully beyond that, beyond what they saw. Yeah. So it's the point is we're all in a hell of our own making.
I hate Star Wars.
I hate people talking about Star Wars, but hopefully, I'll watch that trailer and we'll reconvene later and see what fucking hell we're in next week.
They'll hate it.
They will.
There's no point like wondering how they'll react. Yeah. There'll be a strong backlash against it. And there'll be people who will love it.
Yeah.
I just hope it isn't big red letters, Star Wars, The Last Jedi, coming soon.
Well, apparently it's going to be like a mix of production stuff and actual trailer footage, sort of like what we got with Star Wars Celebration in 2015, that sort of sizzle reel type thing.
Yeah.
And if it's something like that, that's cool. Either way, it's going to be the first footage we've seen of The Last Jedi, and we've seen basically nothing, so it's going to, people are going to go crazy over it one way or the other. It's very hard to universally please people these days. Unless you're Rick and Morty season 3 episode 1.
Yeah.
It was so good.
How did they cram that much writing into one episode?
It worked on every level. Literally everything worked. I've never seen, like, we had so many different expectations, so many different fan theories, and I was expecting, like, it was going to be a mixed bag, but no, it was all good.
It was like watching the first episode all over again, you know, where it just kind of immediately decides what it is.
It completely grabs you, and yet, I mean, even that first episode, I think they were still finding their feet on a few things. Like, you can hear Justin Roiland like cracking a few places in where the character voices were, and Rick wasn't as developed, but yeah, you get this instant sense of identity where it's like it feels like it all works, and they know exactly what their fans want. They know exactly what works within the universe. They know exactly how much they've established and what to call back to. It just, all perfect. And then Szechuan sauce happened. My God.
Was this all an elaborate ruse just to get Szechuan sauce back?
This is because a lot of people were saying, is it supposed to be like an actual marketing ploy from McDonald's? Like, did they get paid to do this? And considering Rick and Morty have done a few adverts for like burger places before in the past, and I could sort of believe it, but no, I think this is purely a Dan Harmon thing, that he just wanted some Szechuan sauce one day.
Just give the man his McNugget sauce.
Yeah, and then he wrote it into the script, and now it's probably happening. There's a Mulan movie coming out next year. Disney
and the McDonald's chef said he was considering it because of the huge explosion of people asking for Szechuan sauce.
I'm just imagining like whoever manages the McDonald's Twitter just like seeing all the shit blow up and then just like,
my time is now.
I'll think about it.
As he's got huge kegs of Szechuan sauce behind him.
Yes, exactly. Just like it's all in cold storage and just like, I knew this day would come. I knew they'd come for me.
They're coming for my Szechuan sauce.
There have been literally people trying to sell like old cartons of it for like $10,000 on eBay.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants 20-year-old sauce that is no doubt like maggots and shit and dust, like there's been like, if it's real, I mean, like I imagine a lot of that is literally just what people actually think it was, which is 2 parts soy sauce to 1 part barbecue sauce from McDonald's, and then
well, somebody bought an original sealed bottle of Crystal Pepsi and then drank it and then vomited it back out and more.
Yeah, because
there are fucked up people.
What do you expect? But yeah, if McDonald's brings it back, then cool. I mean, it's one of those things that if it does come, then people will say, Oh, it's not actually that amazing because the joke is that it's this completely mundane thing you wouldn't think to bring back, and it's
also the whole want not have not want. Want not have situation.
Yeah, exactly. You want it because you remember it and don't have it, and it's but it was such a perfect joke of just like it's Rick's motivation now for 9 more seasons, 97 years. Rick and Morty, 97 years.
Szechuan sauce.
Yeah,
that's his character arc.
Yeah,
McNugget sauce.
Yeah,
I am gonna try. If I do swing by McDonald's at some point, I will try that. Just
the together. Combination? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. There was also Binging with Babish, which managed a YouTube channel that he usually makes just sauces and drinks and food from all kinds of TV shows and movies, and managed to replicate the sauce one with like his own creation of it, making
using
real
Szechuan peppers.
proper like official Szechuan stuff. One that was made by a Reddit guy who just remembered the taste, and one that was literally the McDonald's amalgam sauce. And it's fascinating watching that kind of stuff like be made and just like try it out.
He stuck with the Reddit one.
Yeah. That's it. Sounds like
it sounded good.
Yeah. I mean, like it's one of those things where it's like, wow, I do not have the skills all the time to actually try that, but that sounds amazing. Yeah. But I mean, Rick and Morty, like as a whole, I'm a little pissed that it's not going to be actually here until the summer, because like it's just one episode and then the rest of it's coming out in the summer.
But for an April Fool's joke.
Oh, fucking perfect! Because like I mean, I'm in the Facebook group Rick and Morty Shrift posting, and it was fucking hell on earth.
It was lit.
So many people pissed as hell, like just like, oh, it's never happening. Like we were told it was going to come out in 2016. Like so, I was in this group and so for the last like 5 months, it has been people saying, "When's it coming out? When's it coming out?" And my God, they would not say anything. All for this April Fool's joke.
Did you see the conversation Dan Harmon had with somebody on Twitter?
What? No, what was it? What did he do? What did Dan Harmon do?
What did the old man do this time? Well, he was talking about something, and then somebody responded with, "Dan, nobody gives a shit. Just release Rick and Morty already." And then he said, would releasing an episode of Rick and Morty satisfy you? Said, yeah, it would, but that'll never fucking happen because you'll never release it. And then they go and drop episode 1.
Oh, perfect.
This is the night before.
Oh, clever. And then they just played it on loop and let people watch it on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And then of course the pirates got hold of it, so you can watch it anywhere. But
they knew. They don't care.
They're cool. I mean, like then they couldn't have been making money off of it because it was just streaming continuously on AdultSwim.com. So it's like
they'll still get great views when that episode drops.
Oh yeah, and hey, look, if they put that up on iTunes, which they never fucking do with Rick and Morty for some reason, but if they were to put it up on iTunes, I'd buy it right now. I'd buy the whole season right now. I'm hooked in. I'm ready to go with Rick and Morty. Like I'd pay if I had any option to do so. But it's just waiting until summer though for the rest of the season. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough waiting for Pickle Rick.
Oh man, I'm so ready for Pickle Rick. I
love that that episode is like, "Welcome to the darkest year of our adventures, Morty," and then literally a minute later, "I'm Pickle Rick."
I believe yes, it will. It will be. It'll be going to some dark places.
Yeah, dark pickly places.
Yes.
Well, I mean, from that test footage, which was from like, what was that? Like a year ago that we saw that first test footage where he's a pickle
and kills rats.
Yeah. So like seeing that fully animated is going to be pretty great. One person pointed out that from the end of season 2 to this was literally 1.5 years. Literally like
nice,
perfect. Like so right on what Mr. Poopy Butthole said it would be.
Don't listen to Dan Harmon's lies. Listen to Mr. Poopy Butthole.
I've just realised that if people don't know what Rick and Morty is, what we've just said sounds like fucking insane gibberish. Like that a man called Mr. Poopy Butthole told us 1.5 years ago that we'd get an
episode of a cartoon.
Yeah, I was surprised that no one actually like picked up on that 1.5 years later would be April Fool's. And I wonder if that was actually planned or if that was just convenient.
Who knows?
You never know.
Either way, it was great.
Yeah. But and then we've got like 12 more episodes to go, so it's a full, like, it's more than we got last season.
Yeah.
So that's great. One thing that was pointed out to me is people were waiting for Samurai Jack to the new episode of Samurai Jack to happen. And then Rick and Morty came out in the time slot of Samurai Jack. So all the people who wanted Samurai Jack, it's just like, oh, that's fine. We've just been waiting, 12 years? Oh, I'm sorry you've waited a year and a half for Rick and Morty. That must be so hard. And they're just getting really passive aggressive about it. Which is, that's...
They just want their Samurai Pizza Jacks.
Yeah, so I can understand that. Speaking of which, Samurai Jack.
Oh, that transition.
It's been so good. 3 episodes. It's 3 episodes in, and it is fucking perfect. It is like all brilliant. Gendy, like another series that's back where it's like everything's going spectacular.
Huzzah!
Yeah. I mean, have you seen any of it? Like
all I've seen is You Let Us Die, Jack.
Yeah.
And Haku likes his pizza extra thick.
Yeah.
And by pizza, I mean his daughters.
I've
seen thick Haku daughter.
Yeah. The daughters of Haku. Yeah, he's got six daughters.
You remember where he ordered pizza?
Yeah.
Extra thick.
Yeah. Have you seen him in therapy? It's from the latest season, and he's
I haven't.
It's him talking to a therapist version of him, and like
I may have seen a screen cap of it.
Yeah, and he just says, I hope that eventually the samurai would die, but he just grew that stupid beard. And a bunch of people have taken that and put Keanu Reeves over it. I thought but he didn't get any older. He just grew that stupid beard.
And what, hasn't he been a samurai at some point?
Probably yes. Yes, he has. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Samurai Jack, it's because it's on Adult Swim now, he's actually able to kill people.
Yeah.
And shit gets real dark. He's having like internal conflicts where literally a version of him is telling him to kill himself. Like that he's like failed everyone. He's lost his sword. He's got the cool samurai gear and the crazy motorbike with the spike wheels. It's and he kills a bunch of robots it's that Gendy Tartakovsky can literally do no wrong. And all the daughters of Aku are.
That's the sound of thick.
Yeah. I'm doing the
A-OK.
The A-OK symbol. It's all good. Stuff happens there. I'm not going to spoil it, but it gets real dark. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'm digging you down for it.
It's kind of unclear if they are actually his daughters, but like because they're born in like a ceremony. You don't, and like Aku never really mentions having daughters. Like it could be just be implied that it's like a cult that's dedicated to him.
Yeah,
But either way, they're pretty awesome. They have some great fight scenes.
Are they? Is it 12 episodes?
It is 8. It will be 8 episodes.
I will, because I'm planning to rewatch Samurai Jack properly with George, and then I'm gonna watch the new series with him.
Yeah. I'd say that it's not plot necessary for you to see the rest of the series.
I know, but it's been so long, I wanna, because I've watched the majority of the old series, but I never watched it in proper order because I was watching it on TV as a kid.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, and I should go back and watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it's the new series is super great. It's obviously it knows that its fan base has grown up with it because there's actual blood, stabbing. There's talks of very dark subject matter, a lot of moral complexity to it. I will say one of the best things about it is the music and the soundscape in general. Like there's brilliant points where there's no dialogue. The music is some of the best in that I've ever heard in an action cartoon. There's actually a featurette about it where basically the way that they do it, they don't use temp music at all.
Good.
And the way that they do it is they animate the whole scene, and then Gendy will literally beatbox over it. Literally, I'm not joking. He'd go dun 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 dun. Like he will like tell them like roughly what he's thinking.
They're using Gendy temp music.
Yeah. Gendy temps it, and then then he lets the composers actually imagine what they want to get out of that, and so it makes very original sounds, very original music.
Now I just want a cut of it where all the dialogue and sound effects are professional, but Gendy is like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, literally, just to have that in there. And another good thing is just that they leave off some points where it's just like no music and just very environmental sounds,
ambience and all that.
Yeah, and
it's, that's good.
Yeah,
I feel that works with Samurai Jack.
It definitely does. It's all very good. And like I said, only 3 episodes in, it would have been 4. But Rick and Morty is way more important. I'm sorry. I know we waited 12 years, but Rick and Morty is just the sweet release of that. Just because we were again promised that back in we were promised Samurai Jack back in 2016. We've had a long time knowing it was coming, but Rick and Morty was just like dropped, and that was amazing. But yeah,
it's a good time for animation.
I'm kind of waiting for. I want to get all of the episodes of this last season because it's meant to be an 8-episode run that finishes off the story for real. I want to see that either released as, or I would cut it together myself as one long movie. Because it's 20 minutes an episode and it's 8 episodes, so it's 160 minutes. So there are movies about that length, like that would fit very well. I know it's set up to be kind of episodic, but I feel like there's a lot of continuing stuff. So that being cut together as like a full long animated film would fit very nicely.
That would be pretty nice.
Yeah, that's animation, but doing all good. Speaking briefly, sort of connected to animation, Gorillaz' new album is also coming out at the end of the month.
Fuck, damn it, it's so lit.
All of the songs are good. I like them. Yes, I like them a lot.
I don't know how many times I've listened to Saturn's Bars.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, that's like on repeat for me. And Andromeda as well. That's top of them.
Oh God, was it Let Me Go? Was that the latest one they put out?
Let Me Out.
Let Me Out.
I remember that partially because I keep thinking of Tiny Rick. Let me out. Let me out. This is not a dance.
You're begging for help. You're screaming for help. You need a new Gorillaz album.
We really do. Did you also hear they're getting a TV show?
Oh yeah, I heard some like episodes or something.
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, it was going to be like. Do you remember watching those Gorillaz bites where they're online shorts? 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, if they can keep it sort of like that and
so is it going to be like that? I knew that they were getting episodes.
I don't know the details, but I've just heard that they're going to be getting a full TV show.
That would be good on Adult Swim.
Definitely, very much so. I will say the music video for Saturn Bars fucked me up because it was in 360. It starts out on a train, and I was watching it on a train when I watched it. So I was like, "Fuck me! What's going on?"
The bath. Hang on, you guys. I'm just gonna take a bath.
Yeah. The half the Gorillaz fandom is just like yes, new Gorillaz album, and the other one is just in a state of the bath.
You were just crying in the corner.
Bath posting. Yeah. Now like baths and peppermint tea are just they'll never be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a peppermint tea for me.
Yeah, those videos they're pretty good. I mean, like the fact that it's got like 360 video and animation in it. Yeah. Like I've not seen that done before, and it's probably the best implementation I've seen of that. Because I've been kind of critical of 360 video because I don't think it's been used for anything that I've been interested in. But that's the first one where I was like, oh wow, that's actually really good. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, but Gorillaz, another sweet comeback. 2017's a good year for comebacks. Speaking of more of animation, Invader Zim's coming back for a movie.
Yeah, TV movie. It looks like Jonah Vasquez will probably be involved because
he better be in some capacity. Like
the joke for the last few years is that how direct he's been about Invader Zim never coming back ever. Like he's made plenty of jokes on Twitter saying, dude, it's never happening ever, forever. So if he wasn't involved, I think he would say directly, no, I'm not involved.
Yeah, I feel like, considering he's very direct on Twitter talking about that kind of thing, I would expect him to communicate that kind of stuff. But if he's just involved in some way, that's good. I really hope Nick doesn't fuck it up because they have just done such a shit job with everything over the last couple of years, just managing. At least it's just one movie. I feel like if it was a series, it could get pulled at any point during the middle of it.
Absolutely.
Like a movie is, it's out and it's out. You know, it's done.
They apparently have like more unaired content than any other Cartoon Network airing station out of all of them.
Fucking ridiculous. Like that's one of the things I love about Cartoon Network is they'll throw it out there. Like even if it's not a concept they really want to go with forever, they'll give it a go. They'll let it run.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Apparently Nickelodeon can be very good on the creative side. It's just entirely the business side. If it's not if it's not SpongeBob successful right out of the gate, well, it's a mess. It's a flop.
Yeah, SpongeBob. I feel weird saying that that's still going, and Fairly Odd Parents is back on. I think it was off for a while, but then
Didn't it end?
It's back. It's still on, right?
Frederator needs that money.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else is keeping them afloat.
Yeah, because Bee and Puppycat didn't go fucking anywhere, did it? Thanks for that, guys.
I mean, it was great, but those shows don't make them money.
No, I know. Let's just put it on.
But fuck Europe, right?
Yeah. Like,
thanks, guys.
Don't even give us the option. It's not like I donated a shitload to the Kickstarter back when that was.
Oh, but thing. Jamie, you've got a whole nother season of Bravest Warriors.
I don't want it. You can keep that. You can keep that with you. Just. Ugh.
Get out of here, Bravest Warriors.
Yeah, but in all other things animation, everything's going just fine.
Yeah, I'm very glad that we didn't give these sacred cows to 2016.
Yeah.
2016 would have found a way to fuck it up.
Yeah, 2017, all things going art-wise, very, very good.
Yes.
So yeah, just one more thing before we get onto our full-on topic of Ghost in a Jar.
Yes.
I finally saw the Power Rangers movie, the Krispy Kreme movie.
How did they dunk those donuts? I'm kicking microphones left and right.
Yeah. Well, it's about as professional as kicking a mic stand. I'd say that.
That sounds about accurate.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered, like. The Krispy Kreme, like, loads of people have made jokes about it. Basically, the crystal that sustains all life on the planet, the one thing that literally allows all life to exist, is hidden underneath Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, now it's striking and telling that the first thing you talk about with this Power Rangers movie is the Krispy Kreme scene.
It's important. Literally, it's a vital, critical plot point that the crystal that sustains all life is hidden under Krispy Kreme. There's a big conspiracy wall of Billy finding where the Zeo crystal is hidden. And he does all this math.
I've got a paper trail that's a mile long, and it leads to a Krispy Kreme.
That's basically the scene. He literally says it's at Krispy Kreme, and he's got.
I've got a whole box full of Pepe Sylvia.
He's literally like Charlie Day, and he's just like explaining his conspiracy wall. It's like it's a Krispy Kreme.
Nah, calm down. Have another cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's basically that. But like, I mean. It's a better movie than it has any right to be. I'll say that because I like the characters. I think that it's a decent starting point. There's a few things that are dumb and weird, like Goldar's not a big monkey man. I feel quite cheated by that.
I told you they'd ruin it, and no Bulk and Skull.
No Bulk and Skull. Like you couldn't even call one of the bullies Bulk. Like just something. Like, there's a fat bully. You could have called him Bulk. Just have it on the back of his shirt or something.
I guarantee you, if they had Bulk and Skull in this film, it would have been every Hollywood production bully ever. It wouldn't have been the Bulk and Skull we know and love.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But they missed out on that. I guarantee you, before Krispy Kreme got involved, that they would have had the juice bar from the original show as the place where the Zeo Crystal was, and that would have been like a cute little reference. But then it's like, shit, we ain't got the money. Krispy Kreme, you got something? Yeah, just literally like make our place of business the center of the fucking universe.
Nah, I feel like an exec looked over the script for the appropriate place, and he saw juice bar in the script. Yeah, and it's like, right there. Yeah. Now you can't just have any old juice bar. We were talking with Dunkin' Donuts, and the director's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, no, literally, it's like, well, look, I see you've got just generic juice bar here. What's a juice bar anyway? That seems a bit 90s. Why don't you make that like a place where the kids are, like Krispy Kreme? Everyone knows Krispy Kreme.
Hell, why not make it the center of the fucking universe?
Literally, I feel like that was on the ad copy, but sent faxed over to them. Make our business the center of the fucking universe.
Hell, put it on the DVD.
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme, center of your universe.
Yeah, make sure that the Power Rangers villain literally eats one of the Krispy Kreme donuts and says this is a magical place before she destroys Krispy Kreme.
Please.
That happens, by the way. She sits in Krispy Kreme and eats Krispy Kreme donuts as people run out before she destroys it and says it's a magical place. The face that you have right now is...
Oh!
It's fucking glorious, isn't it?
Oh no.
You look like you're having a fucking conniption here.
I'm having a rapturous experience right now. That's awful. That's so bad.
It's like I said,
That is unchecked, like pure corporate greed. Like
this is why I love it. It's so upfront with it. It is not even trying.
I may have to give this a little look see.
See, I've got you now, haven't I? That's the movie.
I may just watch the scene where she walks into Krispy Kreme. I don't feel I have the commitment nor the strength.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Really, I wish more of the movie was like that, just obscenely dumb, because the bits where it tries to be serious, like the Apache Patrol being like concrete monsters rather than dumb guys who just
boo,
and the lack of hip hop aikido.
Boo! You had a perfect fighting style.
Yeah, it was literally indestructible. You couldn't get past it. He did a little hip hop dance, and then he did a little spinny round, and
he grabbed a nerd by his arms and then swung his legs.
Yeah. He used him as a hammer. He threw him around and used centrifugal force like a hammer. Yeah, it worked. But yeah, they don't have that. There's I just wish it was more dumb, more crazy, and also it's got that problem of a lot of superhero movies where there's not really a second act. It's basically just like
there's a big thing fight it.
Yeah. It's literally like training. Oh, we're all shit people, aren't we? Oh, we should probably stop being shit people. Oh, okay, fine. Oh wow, we've got past our problems. We're a team now. Oh shit, there's the climax. Better go kill it.
We did it all thanks to Krispy Kreme.
Yes, they did.
No, while I was listening to you discuss Power Rangers, I was just imagining in the old show where there's Megazord gets hit and then the actors from the Sentai, they fall over, there's sparks coming out. I'm just imagining I'm there with bags of Krispy Kreme and I'm throwing it at the actors. And that doesn't really have much like narrative connectivity to it, if that's a word.
Yes.
But I just want to be there and throw Krispy Kreme at people.
Now, I'm not saying... Now, this doesn't happen in the actual movie, but I kind of wish that it had gone deeper, and that the Zeo crystal itself is in the form of a giant donut.
Oh.
And that it's bordered with smaller donut protection rings or something.
This is... that's
and then it's embedded into like the Krispy Kreme, like their business. They know that
that's how they make their donuts so delicious and tasty.
Yeah, exactly. And like there's a Krispy Kreme conspiracy, a creamspiracy, if you will. I'm just saying, I want it to go deeper
into the Krispy Kreme.
What are you typing?
I'm looking up Krispy Kreme Power Rangers. Oh, there's Power Ranger tied in Krispy Kreme donuts too.
Yes, of course there is.
And there's people eating them in their car, because of course there are.
Yeah, because that's what YouTube is now. People eating donuts and giving a review of it and talking a bit about Power Rangers, because that's what gets ad money these days, because anything remotely controversial isn't allowed, YouTube?
No, unless you're not. Unless it's lower than 10k and you're not sitting in your car, no ads for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Power Rangers 2017 Rita Repulsa Krispy Kreme scene explained. I like the idea there's film theories about.
Oh god, yeah.
That's just a theory. A loose one.
That's barely a hypothesis. That's the most important movie of 2017 right there, is Power Rangers. Literally way better than it has any right to be, but also grossly offensive in some other parts. Speaking of which, let's talk about Ghost in the Shell.
Now, Spectre in a container.
So Spook in a box or Ghost in a jar, take your pick.
There are many humorous titles.
They're real blunt about the whole ghost and shell things, aren't they, in that movie?
Yeah, it's a bit more subtle in...
Yeah,
in the
like
original
it's
90s
not it's not even a metaphor. I'd say at that point it's literally just the terminology of their universe.
Yeah, in the TV series they also do directly say, "Oh, my ghost says to do."
Yeah,
blank.
yeah, no, I get that, but it's a little blunt. I mean, overall, what did you think? Do you think it's a good film?
My greatest fears were confirmed. It was all right.
I actually pretty much liked it. I really enjoyed it. Like,
I didn't come out of it saying that was a waste of my time. I could see myself watching it again.
Yeah.
But my greatest fears were confirmed, and it was all right. But in hindsight, with the shit that the Dragon Ball fan base had to go through, we got off lucky.
Yeah. This is what I was saying. It's just like, in context of anime movies, fucking masterpiece. Like,
yes.
Like, in terms of how much shit anime fans have had to put up in general with any kind of adaptation to live action, and I include Japanese adaptations here as well. They're not necessarily better at it. I think anime just in general has a real hard time adapting to any kind of live action
because they don't act like humans.
Yeah, no, they don't look or act like humans. Yeah, and the thing is, whenever Americans try to do it, they always way overdo Americanizing it and take out all the shit that actually made it interesting, and then the Japanese adaptations, like, shot for shot, character design for character design, just replicate the look of the anime, and it looks uncanny a lot of the time. Like, that's what happened with I forget the name of it, but like the one with the hand that's got like a face in it. You know that one, Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, they replicated that for live action, and it's real weird seeing that in live action. It's weird enough in the anime, but it's like, it looks like they didn't even change the proportions for what the eyes and mouth would look like to make it look like it's in the real world. So like that's the thing where just like Japan goes for like point for point accuracy, America just goes for sliding their big old American dick right into it, and neither side has been good up to now.
Nah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the adaptation was just about right here. Like, it's, I mean, apart from just like being super blunt with like the metaphors not even being there really.
And let's just get this out of the way. Yes, the whitewashing is. It's uncomfortable.
I thought that it was really clever, like the way they weave the slight spoilers, but it gets weaved into the plot a bit.
Yeah.
Later.
I'd say take what you will from it. It's really up to you whether or not it upsets you. I have heard some people find it to be the whitewashing is almost a plot point.
Yeah, it's literally a plot point. I would say
so I don't know. It's different strokes for different folks, really.
Yeah, I mean, well, considering it's come out in Japan and they love it, like it's number one there. They like people like the own like. When it was being tossed around, like people, like they were showing Scarlett Johansson to Japanese people and saying, "Oh, what do you think of this person as the major?" And they were just saying, "Yeah, she looks perfect for it. She's a beautiful actress. She's well known around the world." Like they were totally. The only people who were majorly unhappy with it, I think, were, and they have every right to be, would be Japanese American actors who obviously don't get many roles to work with in the first place, and they could have maybe used a bit of a leg up. But I can understand. When you've got an anime that isn't necessarily, like, I know it's well known in the anime circles, but like outside of it isn't known at all, and like
it's the only anime to like break into the West. One of the few. It's up there with Bebop and Akira.
Yeah, but I don't think that they necessarily could have sold it on the name alone.
No,
so they needed a famous actress, and it's just a sad fact of how Hollywood is right now that there isn't really a well-known Asian American actress. Who could be like we don't even have a Lucy Liu at this point. Like there used to be a few few of them. Like 2 or 3 you could call on maybe, but we don't even have that right now. So they needed a big name. Scarlett Johansson was on board.
Yeah.
And they managed to find a way to do it where it's sort of in the plot.
Yeah.
All things considered, I think it's perfect. Like I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Personally.
When I explain to people why there's a white person playing the major, it's not really Disney sort of evilly doing a finger pyramid.
Oh no,
it's a sad state of Hollywood where, yes, I did like the girl who played Meiko Mori in Pacific Rim, but like
no one knows her.
What name jumps out more, Scarlett Johansson or her?
That girl from Pacific Rim. Hey, do you remember her?
I think she's been in more films in Japan, honestly.
Oh yeah, probably. But the thing is, like, in Pacific Rim, I don't think many people don't even remember Charlie Hunnam, and he's the star of that movie, arguably. Like, I mean, and Idris Elba was famous for other stuff anyway, so like. Yeah, I don't think that they could have gone off of that, you know.
It's a shitty state that Hollywood as a whole is in, where they
I don't think it's just Hollywood. I think it's the film industry in general, because it is mainly young. White,
that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's mainly young white guys who make films, and that's a whole bunch of reasons, like societally and like for why that's ended up being the case. But those guys make movies generally about themselves and the people that they know. They don't necessarily think to cast Japanese American actresses, and therefore you've got this multi-layer and like that, because obviously every actor and actress have to start out at the bottom. So like of all the tiers that they would have to get through to get to the point where they'd be in a Hollywood film, they don't really get that option. So you have all these gates that they haven't gotten through. So of course there's not going to be too many in Hollywood.
It's a complex situation that's beyond just racism.
No, exactly.
Like there are some shitty people who don't want to give potentially a breakout role to an Asian actor. Like that happens, but there's so much more problems with it. I mean, like white directors get shit from certain people for tackling subjects of different nationalities or genders or what have you. So like you said, like for an Asian person to work their way up, they'd have to be in lots of films where, because there's lots of white directors, lots of white directors would have to tackle subjects or like settings where there would be lots of Asian people.
Yeah,
so
it's a double-edged sword, because you ask Hollywood to make movies about other cultures, and then if they screw it up, it's like, oh, what, you should have just stuck to what you knew, or you didn't understand it fully. And it's like, well, what do you expect at that point? Because then they just tackle what they know, and then there's not an opening. Now Hollywood's getting better, because you've got franchises like Star Wars, which can just sell itself on the name, and they say, okay, sure, we'll throw in an Asian actress or a black actress or any other nationality or gender, and say, okay, fine, we'll just throw it in there because we can still sell. But that's really the only way into it. I mean, otherwise, I think stuff like Ghost in the Shell, you're gonna have to bear with it. And maybe this makes me sound like a terrible person, but Cyberpunk, I'll put up with a lot of shit to get Cyberpunk back. Okay, so
yeah.
So yeah, if we have to deal with a slightly uncomfortable whitewashing case, then for more Cyberpunk, for more like stuff like Ghost in the Shell, I'll take it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking about the plot, though, how do you feel that was handled, like adaptation wise, and just in general on its own merits?
What I liked about it was the way that they weaved in the first film with an origin of how the Major got her cybernetic body. Just strictly speaking, how I like they were very concise, and it had a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, very much so.
On how the Major came to be. As an adaptation, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't like nothing made my jaw hit the floor and I can't believe they didn't do this properly or what have you. It was blunt in places, but it got roughly that. I'd say it. I don't know if it not so much got the feel of the world of Ghost in the Shell. I think it got the feel of Cyberpunk down.
Oh yeah,
to a T.
Definitely.
But because there's kind of a unique sort of feel to Cyberpunk with Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just being super nitpicky here.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, like, just to recap the story for people who haven't seen it just yet, the story is basically, it's set, I forget how many years in the future, but it's set in the future.
Please don't ask me, I have a terrible memory.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but it's set in a future where basically most people have some kind of cybernetic enhancement, and basically the main character, the Major, is considered the first of her kind in that she's literally a brain in a jar, basically. A brain taken out of a human and put into an entirely cybernetic body. And the story deals with her working for the police and being a specialized agent who deals with cybernetic crime and has to follow a case where someone's murdering scientists who worked on people like her. And whilst also dealing with her own loss of memory and her own place in society.
Yeah, that reminds me. I will say that I believe it doesn't touch on the idea of your soul as much as the original. Because, like I said, the original talks about the existence of it, and if we can copy our things like memories and personalities, then does the soul exist at all?
True. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't touch on that so much, and it gets a little, because there's this whole debate that's kind of left behind the curtain of just because she's lost her entire body. Obviously, she's basically just got her brain, and even then, for various different reasons, she doesn't really have memories from before she was put into the robotic body. She just knows what she's been told. So it's like, what exactly is left of her from before? There's this whole debate of in her own mind of just like, is she technically a robot because she's basically been built from scratch to do certain things?
Yeah, get rid of the bristles on the broom, get rid of the handle.
Yeah.
Is it still the same broom?
Yeah, exactly. That old argument, and it's fascinating stuff. I do think the movie is a bit blunt when it does handle that stuff, because where she does say like, it's like where Bato has to say, oh come on, it's just a robot, you're nothing like them, and it's like that was. You could have just left on the Major looking down at a robot and just let that visual tell the sense for it. You didn't have to have the characters speak it out,
Yeah.
There's some stuff there where it felt a bit Hollywood. But considering how, like I said, how bad sci-fi and anime adaptations have been with this kind of stuff, I was able to let it slide. The actors do a good job with it.
Yeah. I was actually very impressed with Bato, because those leaked photos,
they looked bad. Didn't they?
Looked bad, but then in the film,
motion it worked.
In motion it worked, and he I think he nailed the part really well.
Oh yeah, the character fits perfectly well. I mean, those eyes, they looked bad, but like the fact that they look a bit more like cameras in the movie, and the fact that they move around, they click, it helps a lot for that sort of thing. And because
they just feel more like eyes.
That it humanizes them a little bit, and helps with that sort of thing.
Yeah, because when they just look like little metal rings that he's sort of keeping in place by scrunching his eyes.
I was thinking bottle tops.
Yeah,
like he's holding bottle tops on, and like he's just.
How about we just get ping pong balls, like put dots on two of them, and just scrunch them in your eyes?
Yeah, and the fact that he's got like, because I think one of the things that doesn't help with that is that you assume, because we obviously know how eyes are meant to work, and there's not even the side of eyelids or anything behind there. It's just skin and then little metal bits, like it very. Very dehumanizing in a way, like, because obviously the eyes are the window to the soul or whatever. It's where you get a lot of acting. He did very well to act under those circumstances.
Yes,
it's he was very good. What did you think on the whole with Scarlett Johansson as the Major? Because I remember you were saying specifically you were worried she was just going to be Black Widow again.
I'm glad she wasn't.
Yeah.
I think she did a fine job.
She did well. Yeah, she did some good.
Yeah, it's very difficult playing a role where you have to be stunted as like your emotions stunted.
Yeah, just intentionally emotionally like vague and quiet, and just being like. I mean, there are a few bits where, because we were wondering from that, because when the first trailer came out, there was the question from the scene where she's getting her arm rebuilt, and like the doctor says, "Oh, you're not indestructible," and she says, "Oh, maybe you can design me better." Next time we were saying that sounded like she wanted to be indestructible.
Yeah.
But the way it turns out in the actual movie, I don't know if they re-edited it from that, or if the trailer was just sneakily edited to make it simpler. But in the actual movie, it feels like she's just actually like it's a mix of snark and kind of remorse that she's very much trapped in, that she's a robot, but also mixed with humanity.
It worked better.
It works a lot better in the film, which allayed some of our major fears, because we were very very scared about that.
Yes.
I mean, what about the villain? Because like you were saying, like it's. I only sort of remember the first film, really, like the Puppet Master and everything.
Yeah.
Like what do you think? How do you think they dealt with that, like altogether?
It was interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen season 2 of the TV series, because he's a villain for. I think he's a villain for a few episodes, and then they take care of him, Kuze. But I liked his design. I thought they weaved him in like a fairly interesting way.
I like his sort of Microsoft Sam voice that he's got going on.
Yeah. His bootleg.
Yeah,
glitched out granddad voice.
Yeah. It works. Because that's very hard to do and keep emotion in it. Yeah. But it was. I thought it fit very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we go into spoilers now, just to cover the things that obviously you can't mention
Yes.
on non-spoilers? Yeah. So I mean, I think everyone's heard of this, but basically, yeah, the Major is Asian, and like she's or was Asian before she was literally whitewashed in the plot.
Basically, what happens is the company. Oh, what were they called? Hanker.
Yeah,
Hanker Industries. They're trying to develop the first almost completely cybernetic person ever. So they go into slums and they just take people who nobody's gonna miss.
Yeah, and then they just keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
You go through, what was it, 90?
About 90 people.
Like 92, 94, something like that.
Yeah.
94 people. Just testing this idea. Kuze's meant to be one of the attempts, and then the Major was the one after that.
Yeah.
They're both friends. They were hiding out in a slum. I kind of wish that we'd seen a bit of a flashback, like actually showing what she was like before that, because we don't even see her face or Kuze's face or anyone, which kind of doesn't help the whole whitewashing thing. I think that would have helped to see an actual Asian face, like in that, say, oh, that's Motoko and that's Hideo, and that's that would be like. Also, it would have helped the emotions, I think, just to see them actually being friends before that, because we kind of just had to go on what they were saying, and and I bought it, but it was it felt like they should have shown something like that.
Yeah, it could have helped her. It could have been more cathartic with her coming to terms with her loss.
Of
like learning about her past.
I also thought the reveal of the fact that her mum was still alive was a bit weird, the way they dealt with it, because like she goes to the flat where she used to live, and her mum is still there, and then just like out of nowhere, this woman said, like, she just picks up the cat, and she, like, this woman says, "Oh, come in, drink some tea with me. Hey, have you heard about my dead daughter?"
I mean, Japanese people are very polite.
They're very polite, but it's a bit weird to literally, like, she just walks in. "Oh yeah, by the way, that's my daughter's room. She's dead, by the way. She was a runaway. Oh, very troubled. They sent her ashes to me. I think they're lying to me personally. Like, it's like, whoa, shit, just exposition dump.
They could have had her walk in a far more natural way.
I think they could have literally just done that by, like, her, like, doors left ajar, maybe. She walks in, sees her old room, it's like, oh shit, this is where I used to live. Maybe have her name on a sign somewhere, and then, like, turn around, mother's still there, it's like, oh, who are you? And then just have her run off. Like, it would have gotten all of the information across basically the same, and would have just, like, it would have been a bit more natural. But that's where, like, yeah, the movie doesn't really trust the audience, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, like, the actual story of it fit very nicely, I think.
Yeah, and so the way they recreated certain scenes, like, shot for shot, and just masterful.
That was, it looked very good. I think it was a little awkward how they had to engineer some of those situations to go. Like, it felt like the one with the her coming out of the invisibility. Like, it felt like it's like, oh, and now we're doing this scene now. It just felt like it suddenly happened rather than naturally flowing into it. But I mean, as far as adaptations from the anime go, very, very nice.
Yes. I saw there's the big hologram advertisements. There was one with a Shiba Inu on it. So
yeah, and those Basset hounds, a bunch of Basset hounds. I approve.
I'm all about a good Shiba.
Yeah. There's good little dogs. They're all
doggos and a
yeah. At the end of the film, what did you think of her little superhero speech on top of the roof, basically setting up a franchise? Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Yeah. It feels like a bit very early 2000s superhero film, because that was a thing for a while. Like, Spider-Man did it, Blade did it, like a bunch of other ones, of just like, this is my name. I know who I am now. I understand.
I'm ready for more sequels.
I'm ready for a fucking franchise. Jump off the roof and do a spinny thing, and then like early 2000s music track comes in or whatever.
Yeah. Wake me up.
Wake me up inside. Yeah, literally. Like, yeah, that's it's basically like Blood Rain, that kind of thing. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I mean, considering this first movie was pretty good, yeah, sure, right? I'll stick around for another one.
Probably won't happen.
Yeah, this movie's bombed.
Yeah.
Not doing too hot.
Japan ain't gonna save it.
Man, it sucks. I don't know why though, because and it's gonna hurt because also the fact that Scarlett Johansson didn't bring this one back up, everyone's gonna say, it's because of whitewashing. That's the only reason. Or they're gonna say, anime films just don't work. It's gonna be Hollywood is gonna take the wrong lesson from this. Is my point.
They will.
And even if they hear the whitewashing was the problem, that doesn't mean they're gonna be able to fix it or do the right thing for that. I wish there was more of it because. Yeah, for the first good anime adaptation to come out, you'd think that they could do a few more of these, but
there's plenty of Ghost in the Shell material to work with. There's different canons of Ghost in the Shell,
so,
different sort of timelines.
Yeah, they could do a lot with that.
I think there's one canon where she her body gets destroyed for a while, so she has to be in one of those geisha bodies.
Oh.
And it's kind of creepy because it's a really small one.
Yeah.
But it's the only body she can get her hands on because she's strapped for time. So she puts on a bullet vest and has a shotgun. So it's a really small white porcelain looking geisha bot with a buckshot shotgun.
Yeah, watch out! The internet would get a hold of that.
Yeah, probably, but
whatever they do, if they could do another sequel, yeah, I'll put up with the internet doing horrible things with it because that's what the internet does.
It makes me kind of worried that there's going to be another anime adaptation and it will be of Speed Racer quality.
Yeah, I mean they're still trying with Akira, right?
Yeah, they're trying. Didn't they give it to Get Out guy?
They're
thinking of.
Yeah, okay. Key and Peele.
Apparently, he doesn't get on board with a project unless he knows that it's going to be very art focused.
That would be all right. Yeah, sure, totally.
I mean it's cool. I heard Get Out's amazing. I do agree with Mr. Sunday that it's always very worrying when you give a guy who made a very low budget personal film a huge multi-million dollar
you can trank it.
Yeah,
that needs to be a thing, by the way, tranking it.
Yeah.
Josh Trank has made that a thing. Tranking it, very serious problem, but thankfully hasn't happened too often. The Star Wars guys, Marvel, they seem to be able to take indie guys and just give them a franchise and manage it enough to where it works out. So if they can do that with Akira, hey, as long as it's not. And somehow I knew it was gonna be all right.
Walking here, California, here we come.
Yeah. As long as it's not that Harry Partridge video, which is still very relevant 7 years after it was made.
Oh god.
Yeah.
He still changes the YouTube annotations whenever they give it a new date.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're aiming for 2022. He'll put in 2022 if he has to.
Yeah, he will. I imagine we could get to the date that
Akira's set.
Yeah, and it'll still be coming.
It's coming. It's on its way.
Yeah, well, it's like how I still think that Blade Runner 2 should have waited for 2019 because that's when the original one set.
Oh, that would have been cool.
It would have been a real clever way to promote that, but got to get Harrison Ford in while he's alive, while he hasn't killed himself in another plane crash.
You just can't stop this guy from having plane crashes.
Yeah, he's just got to keep going. Let's hope he doesn't die before the next Star Wars movie.
Plus,
I mean, to be fair, he's not around in the movies, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, he's off doing other things.
Yeah, like crashing planes.
Don't worry, Chewie, I got this under control. And now I'm just imagining a biplane in space.
Yeah. I think that's what Harrison Ford is imagining as well.
He's entering a realm of pure terror. The scary door.
No, I think he's just flying with his friend and thinks it's Chewie, and just he's don't worry, Chewie.
I'm switching on the hyperdrive. I know it's broken.
Harrison, please, no, I want to live.
Harrison, 7 planes enough.
Yes. Oh.
Well, Ghost in the Shell was alright.
Yeah, well, it was, but it was a pretty good film. I'm not saying it's going to be top 10 films of the year, but hey, Cyberpunk goes a long way for me. I'll stick up for it.
Yeah, I want that art book.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you at least have Cyberpunk 2099 or 2077. I mean, to look forward to.
Yeah, whenever CD Projekt Red gets onto that, I think the next thing, big Cyberpunk thing, is Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool.
It looks fucking rad. I'm up for it. It is a bit weird that Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne look gender swap versions of each other.
Yeah, they both look like sleep deprived.
Yeah, they look very, very sleepy, drug-addled teenagers, and yet they're meant to be... I would almost think, like, if they weren't meant to be in a relationship in that movie, that they would be brother and sister.
That's what I thought, I think.
They're in a relationship.
Those French.
Yeah, let's write it off as the French. Yeah, alright, yeah.
Yeah, so that's looking kind of cool.
That's looking pretty good, yeah. All in all, 2017 going alright.
Don't fuck this up for me.
World War 3 might happen later on, but for now, pretty good animation and/or anime adaptations. So yeah,
World War 3 probably won't happen. We're just confined to a sea of mediocrity.
Yeah,
I'll take World War 3 over a sea of mediocrity.
Yeah, just end it all now. But let that Gorillaz album come out first.
Yeah,
we
before Giant Comet 2017.
Yeah, we need a good soundtrack for the end of the world.
Yes.
I think we can end the podcast now.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Yeah, let's hope that we can keep this train going. Good movies, good cartoons.
It's got plenty of steam.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Bye.